everyone. So today we're making cake balls. So to start, we're gonna make a cake. Go ahead and set your oven to 350 and then wash your hands. First, you're just gonna dump your cake in your bowl like normal. Then our recipe calls for a cup of water, so we're gonna go ahead and dump that right in there. And then it also calls for half a cup of oil, so we're gonna dump that right in there too. Then we have our 3 eggs. Remember, just be careful so you don't get shells in, but it's okay if you do, just try and get them out. So next you're just gonna mix it. Remember, if you have an electric mixer, you could use that, or a spoon. It really doesn't matter as long as you get everything mixed together. Now you're just gonna go ahead and spray your pan with some grease so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. And then you're just gonna go ahead and dump your batter right into your pan. All right, and now you're just gonna spread it out so that it's nice and even for baking. All right, and when your oven is ready to go, you can go ahead and put your cake right in. Remember to use adult help if you need it. And go ahead and set a timer for 34 minutes and then check on it to make sure it's not burning. All right, so our timer just went off. So now we're gonna go ahead and carefully grab our cake. Remember, get an adult to help you if you don't feel comfortable getting out yourself. Okay, so once your cake is cool enough to touch, you can go ahead and put it in your freezer for an hour. You need to do this so that it's not too crumbly when you go to make your cake pops. So it's been an hour, and now you can go ahead and take your cake out of the freezer. It should be nice and cold and not as soft to the touch. All right, so then once you put it in your bowl, you're just gonna wanna start crumbling it up so that it's in a lot of tiny pieces. I just finished crumbling the cake, and this is kind of the consistency you want to go for, just like everything's really crumbled and thin. So now you're just going to add about 3/4 of your container of frosting. Don't add the whole thing or else it'll be too moist. So I'm starting out mixing it with a spoon, but if it doesn't work, you might have to just use your hands to mix it so that the frosting evenly distributes to all the cake. So now you're just gonna grab a little chunk of your dough and just roll it in a ball, and then you're gonna set it to the side. So this is the candy I chose to dip my cake balls in. It's just white melting chocolate. You can really do any chocolate. You just put it in the microwave for about 30-second increments, but check it to make sure that it's not burning. I'm just gonna dump mine in a bowl and then pop it in the microwave. So I just took it out after 30 seconds, and now I'm just gonna mix them around and make sure nothing's burning or sticking. And then I'm gonna pop it back in there for another 30 seconds. So I just put it back in there for another 30 seconds, and I took it out, and now you can see it's starting to really melt. So make sure you're mixing it. It looks like it'll maybe need another 10 seconds just to make sure everything's fully melted. So now you're just gonna take the cake balls that you formed earlier, drop it into your chocolate, and just kind of spoon some chocolate over it, make sure it's fully covered. And then you can just pick it back up and lay it back on your sheet. So if you wanna add any sprinkles or anything on top, make sure you do it as soon as you take yours out of the frosting because it will dry really fast. Okay, so this is our finished product. As you can see, it was a bit of a lengthy process, but we made it. Make sure if you're not gonna eat them right away, make sure you put them in the fridge or the freezer because they will melt. But yeah, I hope you enjoy them.